Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, in this lesson we will be creating the score in the middle of the target game object. But first we will need the text game object. As in some of the previous lessons, we will be creating a 3D text instead of a 2D text because it's easier to deal with 3D text. So right click in the hierarchy, go to 3D object, and at the bottom of this list choose 3D text. We can name this text score. Before we do anything, you can notice that this text is very low resolution. To change that, we are going to increase the font size to 200 and reduce the character size to 0.05. We are going to change the starting text to 0, and after that is done, feel free to drag it wherever you want. It's going to be in the middle of this game object. You might notice that the text has disappeared behind this, and that's because of sorting layers. However, you can see that there's no sorting component in this game object. So we can simply add one. Click on Add Component and type Sorting in the search box. A sorting group component should pop up. Once you have added the sorting group component, you are able to adjust the sorting layer. For this text object, we are going to choose the foreground layer. And this should bring it on top of this. Also make sure there's no typo. Now we just need a way to adjust this text. And of course it's going to be handled with a script. So right click on the scripts folder and create a new C# script. We can name it Quick Play Score Script. And this script is going to be added to the target game object. So we can go ahead and add it immediately. Double click the script to open it up in Visual Studio. And what this script is going to do, it's going to check for collision on the target game object, and whenever the pin hits the target, we are going to increase the text by 1. So we'll need a few variables. First we'll need a public game object variable. We can call it score. That is where we'll be attaching the score text object. After that we'll need a private variable of the type text mesh. And we can name it score text. And finally, since this is going to be represented with a string, we need another variable that's going to store the integer value of this current score. It's going to be public static integer, and we can name it score value. In the start method, first we want to target this text mesh. So score text is going to be equal to score.getComponent, and the component that we want to get is called text mesh. Don't forget to open and close the brackets. And after that, of course, at the beginning of each game, we want to set the score value to 0. We will also need a way to transfer the current score into the game over scene. So we are going to store it temporarily in the player prefs. So playerprefs.setIn. In the brackets, first we want to type in the key, and the key is going to be current score. After that we want to set a value, and at the beginning of course it's going to be 0. The start method will make sure that every time we start a new game, the score is going to be 0. We will not be needing the update method, so we can delete it, and instead we are going to be using the onTriggerEnter2D. First we want to check which object collided with the target, and we are going to do that using an if statement. If collision dot tag equals to pin, then we want to increase the score right here. So first we'll increment the score value, And after every incrementation of the score value, we also want to update the text on the 3D text game object. So score text.text will be set equal to score value. However, this is an integer and this is a string, so we'll need to convert this. And after the conversion to string, it should work fine. And one final thing that we want to do every time the pin hits the target is to update the player prefs as well. So player prefs dot set int. We already created a key that is called current score, and we want to set it to score value. This should be everything for this script, and it should be working fine now. Make sure you save this and go back to Unity. If I recall correctly, we already attached the script. Now we just need to attach the score text game object right here. Let's see if it works. Okay, seems to be working perfectly. In order to keep the lessons a bit simpler, we are going to save the game over scene for the next lesson. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.